So let's talk about the self-image and using hypnosis to really install a self-image so that we can be the person who we want to be. The self-image really was something that was really kind of brought to the forefront by Maxwell Maltz, who was a plastic surgeon, back in the 50s. It's a little different than plastic surgery now. So he would work with a lot of people that had facial deformities, help them fix those. But what he realized is a lot of these people, even though the physical outside part looked fine now, they still kind of retained that self-image in their mind of still having that deformity. And they would act as if they literally still had that deformity. And so it really helped him recognize what the self-image is and how important it is, because so much of how we operate in life, it flows out of the self-image that we hold of ourselves. Okay, so that's one of the things that makes hypnosis so powerful, is it has this inside-out approach. And I think that's different from how a lot of people approach change, because a lot of people think change-wise, I'm just going to change what I do externally, and that's going to make me different. But the problem is that, as we just explained, I mean, literally, even with a plastic surgeon, when someone has deformity, if you fix that, they still may feel like they have the deformity, right? So the problem becomes, if we're looking to create change and we're just focused on the external, we may start doing things differently externally, but inside on our mind, if we don't believe we're that person, it's almost guaranteed that we're going to revert back to how we used to behave. All right. So hypnosis really takes this inside out approach where one of the first things we're aiming at is your self-image. So that if you want to be different, you have to start thinking of yourself as a different person first. And it's very effective and it's much faster. Okay. Because it's hard. It's kind of like micromanaging. When you're just doing external things, you're kind of micromanaging every little thing you have to do. And that takes a lot of energy and it's hard to keep it up. When you put that energy into, let me think of myself as the person I want to be, the behaviors tend to flow out of that. Okay, so you can apply this to pretty much anything. I work a lot with weight loss. So if someone believes that they're an overweight person, that they have no willpower, that they're an overeater, they're a sweetaholic, if they believe all those things and they try and go on a diet, there's always this kind of battle going on, right? Where the behaviors are battling, because again, if I believe I'm an overweight person, then again, I want to eat like an overweight person, and then again, we constantly try and control all that. With hypnosis, what we like to do is say, okay, no, you are a thin person. So it does take a leap of faith. That's kind of like the biggest thing you have to get over. This leap of faith of I am a thin person while you're not. But this gets to the heart of almost all change. This level is always going on. So why not aim at it right off the beginning? So whatever you want to be a successful entrepreneur and you've never done it before. Again, right, it's an identity that you're not familiar with, you're not comfortable with. And so a big part of creating that reality for yourself is really allowing yourself to connect to that identity of who you want to be. And at some point, there's this leap of faith. At some point, we got to do it, because I can tell you, working with weight loss, I've worked with people that have gotten their weight down to their goal weight and they felt like a fraud. They didn't feel like themselves. And if that internal feeling is there, it's very common that they're going to go back to putting the weight back on so that they feel at least normal. They feel like themselves, you see? And this happens with everything. If you feel like I'm not an entrepreneur, well, if you have that core belief and identity, it's going to be very difficult, to have a successful business, you see? So what we want to do is whatever changes you want to make in your life, it's so helpful to take this kind of leap of faith. And this is where hypnosis again, it's a systemized approach to this, where you're calming yourself down, you're allowing yourself to imagine how it would feel to be that version of you who you want to be, you see? So again, there's more depth to it. But the main process is that you're going to this idea of who you think of yourself as. And as you go right to that core and you change that up, a lot of your behaviors start to flow and follow that. All right. So that's the power of your self-image. So take some time and think to yourself, whatever changes you want to create in your life, ask yourself, is my self-image and how I think of myself as a person congruent with that goal I have? Or do I feel like I'm not that person? And there's probably a good chance of that. And if you feel like you're not that person, yes, part of it is time and part of it is what you do externally. Okay, no doubt about it. But another part of it is this self-image piece. And you can start imagining you're that person right now, so that whatever goal you have, you can start imagining you are that person, you're successful, and you had that result. I'm a successful entrepreneur. I'm already thin. I'm a great piano player. Whatever it is you want to have that self-image in line with the goal that you want to achieve. Okay, still got to do the external stuff. You still got to practice the piano, do the business stuff, eat right and exercise. You still got to do the external stuff, but it feels much more you're connected to the goal already, and so there's a whole new source of motivation that you're tapping into, and there's not that banging, that kind of banging, the old self-image banging into the new behaviors. Okay, you get rid of that. And that's one of the reasons why hypnosis can be so powerful. So yeah, give it some thought. If you're not congruent, start thinking about that and start allowing yourself. That's the hardest part, is letting yourself imagine, what would it be like if I was successful, in whatever goal you want to achieve. Because so often we say, well, once I do the right things and I get it, then I'll know. But what hypnosis says is, let's imagine it first. Let's feel all that success now and use it to help me actually achieve that success. Okay? So again, pay attention. The first step is recognizing, where's my self-image at? How do I think about myself in terms of this goal I want to achieve? And how can I change that way of thinking myself so it's more congruent, more in line with the goal I want to achieve? All right? So I hope this helps you out. Have a great day.